Hey, my friend, this is Gavin Mountford here, founder of Six Step Social, and welcome to Six Step Social School. This is going to be a very exciting episode. It's going to be totally different to what we normally do. There isn't really a script to this, but what we're going to be focused on is we are going to be focused on how do you actually make sales essentially through Facebook Messenger and Instant Messenger without really pushing and selling. It's a big topic that most people struggle with. Most people have no clue. And I'm joined by Robin, who's going to be my guinea pig essentially as we go through this, and she's going to be messaging me backwards and forwards. So we are going to have a little bit of an online chat. I'm going to share my screen, etc. as well. So hey, Robin, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I am good. I can see some people popping on now. So
Yeah.
hello to all of the regular awesome people. We're not going to have any slides for this. This is literally just going to be, backwards and forwards, a scenario essentially of how you might meet somebody on Facebook and how you would then have a conversation with them. So, Robin, I know when you you started with me, you said a little while ago that you used to have two windows up. You'd have your kind of messages that you'd pre-written or that you were using and following, and then you got your Facebook up and your Facebook Messenger, and you used to copy and paste. And it's not all about copy and paste, is it? But it is part of the message process is more copy and paste.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had certain questions I would always ask. So it was always easy to have that up there. I would still enter in my own little, jive here and there, respond to them. One of the little things I'll say from the very beginning, I noticed, maybe you've noticed this as well, is if I ask a question, I always answer it myself. So if I ask where they are, I tell them where I am. So it's not like I'm interviewing them. We're actually having that conversation back and forth. So I would have to throw that in, where do you live? I live in New Jersey,
Yeah.
It's like copy and paste.
It's that interesting that you said that, actually, because the interview thing, because I have critiqued various people's conversations over the weeks and the months that when I've been working with clients one-on-one, and it's been very almost like an interrogation. It's like, where do you live? How are you doing? What's your business? How are you getting on in the business? What are you doing for leads? And it looked like this, and there was no real interaction or dialogue, and there was far too many questions, and it just felt like if I was on the receiving end of that, I'd be like, whoa, hang on a minute, this needs to be a two-way conversation. And a lot of people do that, and I think that's what causes a lot of problems and challenges with people. So let me just bring my screen up. Not that screen. Let me bring up this screen.
So while he's getting this up, I see we have some people sharing already. If you could just click the button below and share this. We usually tell you to share it with 2 places on Facebook. So if you can do that right now while we're getting everything set up, believe me, your audience will love this. Trust me. Oh, look at Sonia's already on it. Amanda's already on it. Look at this.
Yep, fast fingers. And there's Stewie. And who else have we got? New James is on. We've got Tina on as well. Some of the newish, not really new, but you've been with us for a while. But it's great to see you as part of this. So there's many different scenarios that you might want to have a conversation with your lead or a prospect or somebody on Facebook. And ultimately it depends what business you're involved in, what kind of products, what kind of services you have to offer. So what most people do, and Robin, I know you've experienced this many times before, but most people, they connect with somebody and instantly they invite them to something, or they send somebody a message straight away, and it's like, oh, would you be interested in joining this opportunity? I mean, have you ever experienced that, Robin? Has anyone done that to you before?
Oh, definitely. And I always love with you look like a cool guy. Now, I know I have a boy's name, okay, the Robin. I know I have a boy's name, but I love, you look like a cool guy or somebody I'd like to hang out with. And I'm like, first of all, I'm a girl. Okay, I mean, I think I kind of look like a girl, that's always first number one. And it's like, you didn't even bother to look at me. How do you know from a couple pictures I'm a cool person? No.
That's crazy that happens.
Always get it. Yep.
Yeah.
It's literally, or you get I'm sure I'm not the only one. Please let me know in the comments where you've literally gotten the cut and paste from someone else and it's the wrong name. Always love that one.
Oh, do you know what? I have made that mistake myself before with one or two of our very close members as well.
Oh no.
One or two of our customers that I was bringing into a program, and I'd had made that mistake. And I'm pretty sure most people may have done that at some
Yeah,
point, but we have to kind of learn from that as well. So
exactly.
you've got to be a little bit careful with the copy and paste. Make sure you change the name at least. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a Facebook group as a way to generate leads. So Robin has requested to join my Facebook group, which is a test group for this purpose. It's called Social Sales Mastery. You can see it right there, how to effortlessly convert your leads into sales. So, I could be out on Facebook and I could be, commenting in groups. I could be posting in groups. I could be making friends with people in my target audience and, connecting with that person and then starting a conversation with them with the idea that I want to lead the person to an opportunity or a product or a service that I've got. That would be one scenario. Another scenario is attracting somebody into our Facebook group. And as many of you know, we leverage the power of Facebook groups to generate leads, because really all a Facebook group is it can be a lead magnet. So when somebody joins your Facebook group, they are now a lead. And all a lead is you have access to their details. If you were in the offline world, you'd be handing a business card over or a phone number, or you sending a text message or some kind of postcard or an email address. That would be a lead. So really, with what we're doing with high touch marketing on social media, is we are using a Facebook group to generate leads. So when somebody requests to join your Facebook group, that person becomes a lead. So this is the new Facebook, and I absolutely love it compared to the old one. I can't believe I was on the old one for so long after so many people had moved forward to the new one. I haven't noticed many bugs yet. I think a lot of them have been ironed out. So just out of interest, everybody on here now, are you on the new look Facebook? Or are you on the old look Facebook still? Because I'm thinking that everybody's moved over now, but actually I might be wrong. So if you see blue all over it and it's the old layout, let me know. Or if you see it as this new look where you've got the menus in different places, it's a lighter, sleeker look, then that's the new look Facebook. You've got the new one, Robin, is that right?
I get the new one. Now, when I first switched over, it was very slow, but it has gotten faster and faster. So that was one of my major complaints in the very beginning, was it was so slow, but now it's much better.
Yes, it looks like most people are on new, actually.
Most people have the new, yeah.
It's great. Yes, got some more coming in. Okay, cool. So this is the new, and it's taken me a while to kind of figure it out. But to be honest, when I'm on Facebook 6 hours a day, it doesn't take long to learn. So here we've got a member request. So I'm just going to come over to the members request. Hopefully you can see that. You might need to zoom in a little bit on your screen, but I can see that Robin has requested to join my group. So I've got this group, I'm the admin of the group, and now I've got a new lead or a new person that's joined my group. And the name of the person's Robin Smith. So normally I have a little look at the answers that they've given to the questions. Robin hasn't answered questions. I'm not even sure if I got any questions.
I was going to say you didn't add any questions.
No, well, there you go. So in this instance, it doesn't really matter. But then I approve the person, and now Robin has gone into the group. So if I go to home, you do need to refresh in the new Facebook, where I found a little bit more because it caches, and I can come to members here, and I can see the new member, Robin Smith. So I would see any other new members that have joined my Facebook group at this point. Now, dependent on how many people join, we normally do a introduction post and a welcome. So we have like we call it the 4-stage $1 million connector. I'm not going to show you that bit today, but I am going to show you the diving straight into the conversation. So when somebody joins the group, the posture has changed. Now I have the posture, and the new lead has come to me, and they can see I've got my, my branding. I've got this cool looking group and cool looking header. I obviously know what I'm talking about. And even if you don't, when you've got something like this, it really helps you stand out. And now the person's looking up to you as the person that could potentially help them get what they want. So in this instance, let's just say I have a business opportunity that I want to promote. Now, what most people would do is they would connect with somebody and they would instantly say, hey, do you want to join this opportunity? I've got this great opportunity. Do you want to check it out? And unless somebody knows you, likes you, and trusts you, and sees you as a person that can help them get what they want, normally they're going to ignore your message. They might say yes, but they're not going to be serious because you haven't taken the time to actually get to know that person. So, what we're going to do is we're obviously going to do that. Now, the first thing that I really do, once we've done the $1 million connector, which also involves sending the person a friend request. So I would hover over Robin's name, I'd send her a friend request. and I would send her a first message. So I'm going to click on the message. That is going to open up our conversation right here, which you can't see because the thing's in the way. So let me just come over to here so you can see it a bit better there. Can you see that all right, guys? Just let me know if you can see my screen okay. Again, you might need to zoom in a little bit, but hopefully you can see the chat here. So the first question that I would normally ask is, and I've actually got it I've got it already written out, and to be honest, this usually is pretty much a copy and paste. Sometimes I type it out again, but I'm just going to paste it in here, and it says hey, and I leave a blank space to put the name in. So hey Robin, just approved you for the Social Sales Mastery Facebook group, so you should be able to gain access now. And then I wanted to personally reach out and welcome you and say hi with a smiley face. I always find emojis do well in conversations as long as you don't overuse them. Whereabouts in the world do you live? ? And you can put your name at the end. That might seem a bit weird or not. It doesn't really matter. Just double check the message, make sure you're happy with it, and then I'm going to hit send. So I've sent that over to Robin now. She is just going to be a regular person. Now you've got to, obviously we're speeding this up to and get it all in right now. This would probably take, the whole conversation would probably take 1 to 2 days, maybe longer. It may take a week. It doesn't matter, but because the relationship building process happens slowly and gradually, it's not something that happens instantly. Okay, so Robin is coming back. She says, hey, Gavin, thanks for the approval. Nice to meet you. I live in Hamilton, New Jersey, USA. Where do you live? So what I normally now do is, obviously, this is going to, again, it's going to seem a bit weird because I'm instantly replying back. Sometimes you do, if you want to have that backwards and forwards conversation, you might find that person. But if you do it too quickly, too soon, you can come across too eager and too desperate. For this example, obviously, we're going to do that. So I'll just move some papers out the way here that I don't need. So where do you live? I'm not sure if you can see me typing.
He always says Austin, Texas. That's your only thing of the USA, isn't it?
I think it's one of the only places I've been to.
Yeah.
And then, so what I want to do is I want to add, and you might be able to see this, but so I've put awesome. I've been to Austin, Texas before because I have, when I went to one of the MLSP events, it was incredibly hot. Not sure about NJ or New Jersey. I live in Guildford, Surrey. So this is what we call a positive acknowledgement. I want to be a real person first, and I want to have the conversation and reply to questions that the other person's asking. But what I also want to do is, because I know that Robin has joined my Facebook group because she's a business owner and she's looking to build a business somehow. So I'm going to add a tag question at the end of this. And it just says, just out of interest, what kind of business are you currently building at the moment? ? So I'm going to send it over. Awesome. I've been to Austin, Texas before. It was incredibly hot. So I found something that I've got in common with the other person. I live in Guildford, Surrey, which is where I live. Just out of interest, what kind of business are you currently building at the moment? Okay, so we've asked another question. And my whole idea of this is that I want to find out a little bit more about the person first before I blanket approach and spam every single person. Some network marketing companies have this, this thing where you just invite everybody and 1 or 2 people are going to stick out of 100. Well, to be honest, I'd rather build relationships, and I would rather have build an audience of people that I can then go back to for other things over and over again. But now Robin's in my group as well. She is going to be she's going to be watching my posts and my content, etc. How are you getting on?
1 sec. Sorry.
That's all right. You can take as much time as you need.
It actually was weird. It did not show up on my screen right away, so I was waiting for a second. I was like, I could see he sent it on yours, but it wasn't coming through to mine right away. So
oh, really? Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Shows how long it takes sometimes. Okay, so I share home essential products and non-toxic plant-based. All right. So what kind of business are you currently building? Okay, great. So let me come back with that. Let me have a little think what I might write.
Yes, Ginny, yep. Take off your marketing hat, be a human. Way to go for remembering that. And yes, Amanda, yeah, we never want to randomly send people to our Facebook group. In fact, Facebook's very against that now. I remember before we used to invite anybody, but now they can't even see anything unless they actually improve themselves, and they don't like that. So definitely don't want to do that kind of stuff.
Definitely. All right. So here's the message I've just sent. So I've said, oh, great. It seems like a lot of people are interested in these kinds of products now. Are you trying to sell mostly on Facebook or a different platform? And obviously this is positive acknowledgement again. So I've asked the question. Well, firstly, I've kind of met her where she is, and I've said, oh yeah, that sounds interesting. And whatever it is, you've got to be genuinely interested. Don't just randomly put stuff. I mean, if you've never heard of this kind of product before, you might say, I've never heard of that product before, or I've never heard of that business before. Or if you wanted to, you could do a little bit of research. Go onto the internet and find out a little bit more. The key is the balance really is you don't want this to be an interrogation. I could have said to her, oh, what products are they? And then I could say, what company is that? And I could say, has that company been around for a long time? Are they your products? I could keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. But to be honest, that information isn't that valuable to me. And it's not going to help with the conversation. It's just going to seem like a whole interrogation. So, I've asked a tag question. Are you trying to sell? And I've said this because she talked about products. I've talked about sell. So are you trying to sell mostly on Facebook or a different platform? What I'm trying to do now is uncover a problem. Find out the pain. If you go to the doctors or I guess you guys in America, you call it the doctors as well, the GP or the doctors, depending on whereabouts you are, usually they ask you some questions to find out the pain, the problem, and the challenge that you've got. And then they prescribe medication to you to help you with that, or they prescribe a course of action. So we want to be the trusted advisor or the consultant that uncovers the pain, problem, and challenge, and then points the person in the direction of a solution. And ultimately, you become a trusted advisor as a result of it. Does that make sense, everybody watching? Have you ever done this before yourself, or do you just try to go straight in there with your opportunity? Again, I would love to know, and we do read your comments later as well, even if we don't reply straight away. So she says mostly on Facebook. So I'm going to go, awesome. Facebook is a great platform. Lots of customers. Let me get my tag question. Have you found you've struggled with the most? Is it generating leads, or is it converting the leads into sales and signups, or something else? So I don't want to put the signups bit because she hasn't really talked about the fact that she's building a business opportunity. So which bit have you found you've struggled with the most? Is it generating leads, or is it converting the leads into sales, or something else? So let's send that across. So again, positive acknowledgement. Awesome. Facebook's a great platform. Or, depending on your point of view, it could be, oh my goodness, why are you using Facebook? It's rubbish. Why don't you use LinkedIn instead? Something like that. And well, it's not true, but depending on your perspective, of course. So you might want to, it doesn't always have to be. Positive acknowledgement is good if you can, because it gives the person a good feeling. If you constantly disagree with the other person, they're not going to particularly warm to you. Sonia says, so clever. So good, Sonia. I'm glad you're enjoying this process. And to be honest, this is it. This is repetition, 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 repetition. Many of you know the 6 steps. Well, this is the conversation ascension part of the process. So she says, I really like using Facebook. I struggle generating leads. Okay, great. Now we're in there with a perfect opportunity to recommend something. Now, ideally, this wants to be something that's free, something that's short, something that's valuable, something that she can now read through and get a kind of a transformation in a short amount of time. So if it was a free gift of some sorts, like a 10-page guide or a 5-minute audio or a 5-minute video that's not promoting anything, not trying to sell anything, but is literally just value. With the, and again, the lead magnet, this is ultimately what we call a lead magnet, and you could call it a second lead magnet, because you may have had a first lead magnet to bring the lead into your group in the first place. So this is what we call a second lead magnet. The key is it doesn't need to sell something. You don't want to go too much in detail. I've seen it so many times where people write a 50 to 100 page ebook and it's just full of information, and nobody's interested, to be honest. They just want the fastest route to get the result that they want. Now, obviously, with this conversation, Robin is struggling to generate leads. So if I could help solve her lack of leads problem, she might then want to learn more about getting more sales and maybe more signups. And she might decide to join my opportunity if she was interested in that type of thing, which she may not be. But again, you get the process. So this is why I'm saying you don't have to sell through Messenger to make sales. You just got to be what we call a trusted advisor. So I am going to say now what I want to do ideally is to get Robin to feel the pain essentially now in a way, because the lack of leads is probably causing her the fact that she's not making sales, and maybe she hasn't got money to pay the bills, and maybe she's got children to feed, and maybe she has lost her job recently. There's a lot of things. So if she can't solve the lack of leads problem, how is she going to get her business to grow, etc.? So I am going to put, sorry to hear that. Yes, a lot of people seem to struggle with this. Sad face. Okay, so, and then I am now going to go, I've got a guide, which many of you know as the Social Media Attraction Factor Guide. Let me just paste this in here. A lot of times I do write conversations out because I don't always do it exactly like this, but the process is the same. Sorry to hear that. Yes, a lot of people seem to struggle with this, with generating leads. Just out of interest, have you got a copy of the Social Media Attraction Factor Guide yet? It's only 9 pages. It's pretty awesome when it comes to helping you build your business online. People absolutely love it. If not, let me know and I'll send you a link. Okay, so I'm going to send that over. So this is a conversation. This isn't me just message and hope for a reply. And you might want to, and what I like to do often is to break up the messages so they're shorter. So maybe 1 or 2 lines, and then I hit return. I send the message, then I type again. So it's not a big block of text. It is at the moment, but sometimes it can seem a little bit. If you can see how the messages are broken up a little bit here as well. All right, let's have a little look at some of the comments we're getting in. Sonia says, questions work better for long-term relationship, I found. Interestingly, it's the same if you know the person or not. And we have Melina, good reminder to me, focused on my Christmas theme, can ask questions about Christmas and buying gifts. Perfect. This class is excellent. Awesome, Sonia. And MJ says, staying positive in the conversation, never get sucked into the negative. Very true. Yeah, and it's rare that I speak to negative people, actually. It's quite interesting. Okay, so Robin says, I haven't seen it. Can you send me the link? All right, so this is a copy and paste message pretty much. So I'm just going to do this. Great, here you go. And there's the link. Register and go through it as soon as you can. It will totally change the way you view building your business online. It's a very quick read. Let me know when you've read it. Okay, so this is really the first part of the process. Now, we're not going to have time to go into detail about how you do the next part of the process, just because this is quite a lot of information. So what we might do is do a second part to this in the future with the next step in the process. But Robin's now says she's going to read it tonight, and often what will happen is people forget about it. So you might want to send a quick reminder 1 or 2 days later. The interesting thing is Robin says here, thank you, I'll read it tonight. Now, what I'm going to tell you now is a massive tip that will really help if you apply it. So thank you, I'll read it tonight. Now, I could reply to her now straight away and I could go, okay, great. Well, I've just lost my chance at a free follow-up. What I will do is I'll wait till tomorrow and I will reply to her then, and I'll say, okay, great, smiley face. So let's say it's tomorrow now. I'll just go, okay, great. Obviously, Robin has either read it tonight or has forgotten to read it tonight. So tomorrow, when I send this message, I'm not having to follow up with her to ask her if she's read it. I'm just reminding her of the conversation. So, okay, great. That's it. So, she might come back to me now and she might reply back and she said, I read it, it was great. Or she might ignore me. Either way, it's okay, because it's a second reminder. This is so now she'll be able to remember that, she says she's read it and it was great. So she might not. She might. Thank you for playing along so nicely.
I should have asked, do you want me to be the mean prospect or the, that
Oh, yeah.
annoying one or the easygoing one? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And the interesting thing is that, if I get a mean prospect, I just move on. I don't bother. I just, what's the point? There's no point. There's so many people out there.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have much of a conversation.
And really, there isn't. I've gotten very few mean people, in all honesty. I always said that, about like even trolls and everything you hear people talking about. I haven't. I've gotten very few. Every once in a while, you get that person that has like you get the thumbs up every time. They don't actually say anything. And even that, I'm like, if you can't say thank you or okay, actually write it out a couple times. I know you're not really serious about this, so let's move on, But for the most part, like you said, if you're attracting people to you, they need you. So they're open to whatever you have to say.
Yes, exactly that. Exactly. So you're not going out pestering people and chasing people and bugging people. You're attracting people, or when you do it this way and you uncover the pain, problem and challenge and then provide a solution to it, you build that relationship much faster as well. So what I'll do now is I'm going to skip a bit because there is more bits to the process, but let's just say that I've gone through the next parts of it. We do we do a GTK call sometimes, which we call a getting to know you call. Not always. Occasionally, it depends who the person is, but that tends to further cement the relationship. We sometimes give a lead magnet 3, which is a little bit more in depth. It could be a 10-minute video, it could be a 5-day, a few day challenge, it could be a webinar or something like that. But again, it's something of value that then allows the person to see that, or to take the next step. Because you don't want to be pestering people that are not going to read your information or watch your video or go to the webinar or take action. Because, again, it depends on the person, but they've got to be serious. They've got to be committed. So I'm going to fast forward what would be probably 3 to 5 days, maybe even a week. And I'm just going to send her an invite because my end goal was to bring her into an opportunity. So let me have a look here. All right, so I'm just going to paste this in. I'm going to change it a little bit. It says, hey, so this message is, let's say, a week later. Hey, Robin, I hope you're doing great. Hang on. You said a few days ago, hang on a sec, you were struggling to generate leads. To sell your products. I think I found something that could help you attract more leads. Attract more leads and get more people buying your products. Okay, so this obviously you have to tailor and fit your business opportunity or your product or your service to the person. It's got to be a fit. And when it is a fit, it becomes effortless because we're not trying to push, we're not trying to sell, we just positioned ourselves as the trusted advisor that can help the person get what they want. So there we go. Hey, Robin, I hope you're doing great. I know you said a few days ago you were struggling to generate leads to sell your products. I think I found something that could help you attract more leads and get more people buying your products. It's a program I've been involved with for a while now, and I think it would really help you. Would you like me to send you over the link, or would you be open to taking a look? Either way, you can experiment with these, but I'm just going to send her this message now. And again, she may say, to be honest, more than likely at this point, the person's going to say, yes, please, I'd be interested. Send me over the information. And in which case you send the information. Now, again, the process it depends what your presentation is. It depends what your website is. It depends what your sales letter is. It depends what your offer is. You've got interested people now that trust you. They know you. They like you. They're in your group. They're seeing your content. and they're interested in what it is that you have, because you've asked them some questions, you've uncovered the problems, and now you've positioned something to them that's a potential solution. So if you've got an offer, and an offer creation is it's a whole different ball game. But when you've got an offer that's irresistible and you send somebody to that website or that video or whatever it is, it's a no-brainer ultimately. And usually the person would say, yes, I'd be interested, or yes, what happens next? So it's not a case of invite 100 people and 1 or 2 will join. It's a case of have 10 conversations and 1 or 2 will join. Have 100 conversations and 10 will join. But again, the offer has to be in place as well. So it depends what you're selling. And it's got to be relevant to the person as well. And there's other things that we can do in the conversation. So has this been beneficial? Again, let me know. What's your biggest takeaway from this so far? This is what we've been teaching forever. So if you are one of my existing customers that's been with us for a while, but you haven't done this process yet, get ready to get in with this process, because I know I'm going to be coaching many of you soon, and we're going to be running over this time and time and time again with different scenarios. What happens if the person says this? What happens if the person says this? I had a conversation with somebody and they said this. How do I follow up with somebody? I'm going to be walking you through the whole process. Anything you wanted to add, Robin, before we wrap up?
Yeah, it's just about sorting out, really, more than anything. Yes, the question, it's so there's no stress. Okay. I always like to think of it as everybody comes in on your hand, and then as you ask questions, you figure out which finger they go down, or like it's a tree. Everyone comes in at the bottom and you figure out which branch they're going to come on. I always make the joke, you might be in a country I can't work with. I find that out right away, right from then, to figure it out. So as you're asking questions, you're figuring out where they move, where they fit, which branch they fit down. So
perfect. Yes, very good. Brooke says she's trying to figure out what she needs to ask her people having to do with health and wellness. Great topic. We will definitely be exploring that. And I know inside the academy we have a whole section where we look at the questions, etc., and you creating the questions. We can certainly guide you with that part of the process. And to be honest, we tend to come up with about 6 questions that we uncover some pains and problems. And when you know your audience and you know what your product solves, and you can match them together with solving the pain, the problem, or the challenge, again, it's very, very easy to do. So exciting times ahead. Let's just check anyone else. Perfect. MJ says the academy is amazing. Awesome. So good stuff. Well, thank you, Robin, for being the guinea pig in this. I know you've done it from the other side, the other point of view for many years now.
Yes. It's very weird being on the opposite side of where do you live and everything. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we will be back on Wednesday. Robin is going to be sharing about Facebook groups engagement. And then on Friday, I am going to be interviewing an upcoming superstar permjeet. So exciting week. And then we're going to be taking a break for the festive period. So I will see you on Wednesday. Thanks again, Robin. Thank you to everybody who's here. And if you feel like sharing this again, just hit that share button, share it in 2 places. We would greatly appreciate it. Just helps us reach more people and get this out as well. So we'll speak to you soon.
Bye.